Chris.
I'm Craig.
And welcome back to our channel. And today we're doing our review of Captain America Civil War.
Okay, so Civil War. I mean, this was our most anticipated, my most anticipated movie of the year. Back when, number 2 for him, back when we did our list in January. It's here. It's happening. A lot of hype around it. This is a big list for a cast, so bear with me. It's Joe and Anthony Russo. It's starring Chris Evans, Robert Downey Jr., Anthony Mackie, Scarlett Johansson, Daniel Brühl, Martin Freeman, William Hurt, Jeremy Renner, Elizabeth Olsen, Tom Holland, Frank Grillo, Paul Bettany, Marissa Tomei, Don Cheadle, Chadwick Boseman, Emily VanCamp. I actually try not to look at notes on that. This is following all the Marvel movies that have led up to at this point. All the Thors, the Iron Man, the other Captain Americas. So, what do you think?
Well, I love this movie. It really dwells on the events of Age of Ultron.
Mm-hmm.
The opening shot of the movie focuses on the Avengers actually going after Crossbones, which isn't a spoiler, it's in the trailer. And it's actually a really good scene. It sets the movie up and it goes right into the action, and right there, it's a great movie. The movie focuses on Age of Ultron, so if you haven't seen Age of Ultron, I suggest you might want to see it to get a better understanding of the movie, but overall, great action in the movie, great acting. The story was great. There was a few things that I didn't really like about it, but overall, I liked the movie. And that's what I have to say for right now.
That's a simple thing for now, yeah. And I'll agree with that, actually. So if you don't have to have seen any of the Thors for this, I will say that. I mean, that's not a spoiler. Thor and Hulk aren't in this movie. That was advertised. But yeah, especially Age of Ultron, Avengers, all the Iron Mans, and the Captain Americas. This is really building upon all of those, and it brings those stories together, especially for Tony Stark and Steve Rogers, because that's obviously the crux of what this movie is. So it's really important to know their backstories, how they've come to be here, the characters they've been involved with since. And I think even actually better than Avengers, this did that better job of bringing it kind of full circle for all the events that have happened for them, especially the main characters, but even all the characters involved. The action was great. The visuals were great. There's a lot of cool scenes in there. We won't give away which ones happened when. If you've enjoyed any of the Marvel movies up till this point, you're going to enjoy that. But give some of the problems you had with them.
The villain. That was one of my main kind of... It's like Marvel set this movie up. You know it's going to be a civil war between Iron Man and Captain America, but you really don't know there's an actual villain in the movie. And they kind of just... I get his motives. I understand that, but it could have been left alone in that entire movie and it would have been a great movie. But given that, there is a villain, I think, Zemo, there you go. But I just could have dealt without him in the movie.
Yeah, Daniel Brühl is actually a fantastic actor. I love him from Rush, that movie he did with, funny enough, Thor, with Chris Hemsworth. And he is a great actor, but again, this is kind of the Marvel movie problem that they've struggled with, except for Loki. The point of the movie wasn't really having a villain in there, but you need one to really finally push Steve and Tony to fight each other, because they've bickered before, but you need to really drive that home. And Daniel Brühl's, Zemo does that, but he's a good actor, again, but he's just not that interesting. His motives, okay, it's there, but it's very vanilla. It's very similar to Ronan in Guardians of the Galaxy. It's like he's only there to simply move the plot along. One of my issues was actually that this is a 2-hour, 26-minute movie, and I love most of it. I love almost all of it, but there are some parts where you're like, this is excessively long. And even some of the action sequences where it's so long, but there's not necessarily a point to it. And especially when there's all this violence, all this fighting, and a lot of it's very anticlimactic in a way. It feels kind of like, all right, this was really fun to see, really fun to watch. In the end, you're like, man, what really actually came out of it? That was really a major significance. And it's not. It's just kind of fun to watch. Any characters specifically that stood out for you without going into crazy spoilers or anything?
Yeah, Black Panther and Spider-Man were my two, especially Black Panther, because I'm not too familiar with him. And I knew he was going to be in it, obviously, from the trailers. And the introduction to him and his whole, I guess, story in this movie actually fits very well in the movie. And I can't wait to see a standalone movie.
Yeah, no, they fit both of them in very well. Yeah, if you like Spider-Man, any of the movies so far, hopefully not Spider-Man 3, are amazing too. But if you've liked any of them, you'll like what Tom Holland brings to the role. And again, Chadwick Boseman as Black Panther, they actually did a better job, and he got more screen time than a lot of other people in the movie. There are a few characters that, again, this is me nitpicking a little bit, that I thought didn't get enough screen time. And that is something that you're going to struggle with when you involve that enormous cast that we read off. Some of them, you almost wonder at points, and this is kind of a story flaw that I have, where they'll disappear for big segments of the movie. You're like, wait, well, where'd they go? Like, you were in all of this, and then you disappeared for like half an hour, and then you come back for a little scene. It's like, well, this is all going on. Like, shouldn't they be there? Like, part of this whole thing? And we'll talk about it on the side. We don't want to spoil it, but there's a few, especially, you're like, wow, you should be playing a huge role in this, and you kind of don't.
Yeah.
But hey, we still loved it. So,
yeah.
Score.
All right, I'm going big. I
Okay,
think
going
this is going to be
big.
my biggest score.
Okay.
I'm going to give it a 9.5.
Oh wow, okay. I knew you were gonna be better than me. I'm gonna go high though. I'm not far away from there. I'm gonna go 9.2. Just there were some of the, especially like I said, we'll talk about on the side, the character stuff where not only Daniel Brühl's, Zemo, but some of the other ones are like, man, you tease with some of this stuff and you just I just would have liked it a little bit more. But there's so much fun to be had here.
Yeah.
So much. So yeah, I think that's about it without us rambling into spoilers. So
yeah.
Go check it out. Let us know what you thought. I mean, if you liked any of them at this point, if you thought this was, where does this rank in the Marvel ladder for you? Is this number one for you? Is it Guardians number one? Where does this fit in with Winter Soldier? Let us know what you think about this and where this fits for you.
All right. Thanks.
That's all. Thanks.